These individuals are perfect examples. Take, for example, Tom Bilyeu. He literally started with nothing, built an empire in Quest Nutrition, and now has a very successful podcast called Impact Theory, where most of the other people that I've shown at the beginning of the video have been guests on his show. For example, Brene Brown. She's a TEDx speaker, author, professor, corporate facilitator, and also has a very successful podcast. And our next guest, Stephen Bartlett, the host of Diary of a CEO, very influential, has large following, and is very successful in many different ways. And then next we have Mel Robbins. She had an incredible TEDx, and she is an author and a podcaster. And then we have Simon Sinek. Now, Simon had an outrageous TEDx talk, especially the one about the millennial generation. In addition to that, he is an author of several books, all of which I own. I connect with Simon on many different levels. And then he has his own podcast called A Bit of Optimism. But last, certainly not least, we have Crystal Dilworth. She had an amazing TEDx talk. She is a molecular neuroscientist. She is on the staff at Caltech, and she is extremely intelligent and successful in her field. Now, all of these people have one thing powerfully in common with each other. Most of them will tell you they started at zero. Some of them started at less than zero, but were able to create a career, a vision, a movement that put them in the spotlight. And research shows that all successful people share this in common, and that is momentum. Momentum. I mean, certainly we understand the concept of momentum, but how does that work? Well, let me share with you the dictionary definition of momentum. You see, the dictionary definition of momentum comes from physics. It explains that it's the quantity of motion of a moving body measured as a product of its mass and velocity, or the impetus gained by a moving object, such as a vehicle gaining momentum as the road dipped. Now, let me share with you the law of momentum, which kind of turns the traditional definition on its ear. Here is the law of momentum. Success. The quantity of action of an individual or team measured as a product of their purpose and passion. Progress driven by a compulsion for meaning, thus influencing continuous action in a focused direction. Creating momentum in your life and in your work involves taking intentional actions to build productive habits, break goals into incremental achievements, and maintain forward progress. That being said, how do you put the law of momentum to work? Tip number one, you got to know what you really want and journalize it. Journaling brings the creativity out in our minds so that we can put it on paper. And as we journal over time, it becomes more granular. It creates more clarity. And it reassures you that you're on the right track. If you begin writing about one thing and then a few pages later you start writing about something completely different, then perhaps you're pursuing what you really want, at least intellectually in your own mind. But once you capture that special cause, that movement, that passion of yours, you need to be able to set very clear goals. What direction do I want to take this? How do I want to bring it into being? And it doesn't have to be about, fame and fortune. A cause is an internal impetus to create action to make a difference in the lives of other people and in the world in general. So create clear goals. And again, I've got videos on goal setting, about using SMART goals because it works. Some of this stuff may seem or sound very traditional to you, but it is traditional because it has withstood the test of time. Over and over again, this is how it is. There is no magic pill. Look, a lot of people don't get into momentum because it shows up in overalls and looks like work. The next is making a point of establishing daily habits and rituals. Go into routines to get up at a certain time. Make sure that you get a decent amount of sleep. Start your day off the same way. You know, you wake up, you have a particular food for breakfast, or maybe you fast. You brush your teeth, you get showered, you get dressed. These are all things that are a part of a routine. It's very important that you don't sleep in, you don't keep hitting the snooze button. When that bell goes off, you wake up and you get your day started. And what I've done, a routine of mine, is I go after the most difficult things first so that I can get them out of the way. Then the rest of my day is smooth sailing. I don't do all of my difficult things on the first day. I break them out throughout the week, but I make sure that each day has a difficult task that will challenge me, and I seek to get that task done that day, and then take care of the other tasks as needed. And that's not, you know, reviewing emails, listening to voicemails and cruising YouTube or Facebook or all these other distractions. We have to learn to eliminate the distractions that we have become addicted to. So that being said, you need to create routines and rituals and be consistent about them. Celebrate your accomplishments, no matter how small. Look at creating a timeline of these different tasks and activities you're going to involve yourself in, and you make progress and look back at, well, look what I've already done. Look, the idea of the law of momentum is that the more action you put out into the world, the more seeds you're sowing for your cause, the more seeds that you're putting out there for other people to discover, for other people to take notice. And not to get discouraged. Tenacity and perseverance are key. Don't give up. As long as you keep producing those seeds and putting them out into the world, whatever type of venue or media that you are seeking to use, irregardless, if it is a cause, if it is a passion within your heart, you don't give up. You just keep going. It's not about how many views or subscribers or friends or whatever the metric that you think it is. It's about getting that message out into the world. That's all it's about. And that's what really matters. So that being said, it's very important for us to stay focused, stay consistent, don't give up, continue to vocalize that message that you want to send out into the world. And whether you're monetizing or not is kind of irrelevant, but you have to be there to serve others. Momentum is an energy that spreads among human beings. So when you want to create momentum, oftentimes we give value without the expectation of getting anything in return, because we believe so highly in the cause that we would do it for nothing. I'm not saying that you can't monetize. I'm just saying that you have to begin with generosity, and that can be a challenge. The next is to become a continuous learner. Look, when I got into this, I didn't have any knowledge of technology. Well, I mean, I did have basic, understanding of technology, but I had to learn a lot of software programs and work with different, you know, individual contributors to develop. And I continue to develop to this day. With AI, I'm constantly learning how to prompt different AI engines to get what I need as a result. So continuous learning is always, always a part of continuous growth. And if you are looking for momentum, a growth mindset is your key tool. The next is stay adaptable. Change is inevitable. As a matter of fact, change is a constant. Even more so, profound change in this day and age is consistent, and we have to keep up with it. We do have to do our best to keep up with the change and be flexible, be willing to not get married to certain concepts or ideas, but to be able to look at what the people are in need of, that they are looking for, and to be able to find a way where we can provide it. And again, change is constant. We cannot hold on to old thoughts and ideas and expect them to fill the void of the current and future needs of others. And the other thing about change is don't allow yourself to become discouraged. Look, it may seem in the beginning that no one's listening to your message, but you don't harvest fruit when you're planting the seed. So don't have that expectation. Plant the seed of your message out into the ethos and be consistent and continue, persevere, right? Eventually seeds take root, and then eventually they grow fruit. So that's really important to remember. Don't get discouraged, be tenacious, and persevere. Create a network of supportive people. I have a small group of people that I interact with, but I love interacting with them because they inspire me. They provide me with thoughts and ideas that I can expand on that will be of value to others. So that's very important. Have people around you who are supportive to your cause and give you that energy to move forward and to continue your movement. Probably the most important tip of all is nothing happens without action. You can think and have all kinds of great ideas, but they do not manifest themselves into the world by magic. This is not magical thinking. Action is what creates momentum. If you remember the two dictionary definitions that I gave you, action is at the beginning of each. You've got to identify actions that you can take. It doesn't even matter if they're effective or not. It's the act of putting that energy out there and being consistent and being tenacious and being persistent and putting your voice into the ethos constantly, whether you're using social media or you're using your local community, whatever it is, nothing happens until you make it happen. So action is key. And they can be small, incremental actions that will gain momentum. What we're talking about will gain momentum over time. And that really is key. Momentum is something like a snowball that starts at the top of the mountain. And as it rolls down, it gets incrementally bigger and bigger until it reaches the bottom. And it's huge. You don't have to be a TEDx speaker. You don't have to be an author, but you do have to be genuine and honestly believe in the cause that you are sharing with others, and to be able to articulate how they can benefit from that knowledge, that understanding, that experience that you can offer. Momentum is a superpower, are critical for your success, regardless of whether you believe in the law of momentum or not. But let me tell you, it's real. It works, but it takes strength, courage, and persistence to be successful. Brene Brown didn't go for a walk and suddenly find herself on a TEDx talk. She put actions into her cause. She was speaking words that people were hungry to hear. And that happened. The same with Simon. He had reached an absolute bottom part of his career as a marketer before he took the golden circle and shared it with the world and gave us an insight, gave us a lexicon, a language that helped us understand and realize, yeah, that's what I was struggling with. These are ideas, and the world is not overfraught with good ideas. There is room for your cause. There is room for your movement. You just have to take action, and you don't give up because you believe in it like you believe the sky is blue. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, click on the thumbs up if you enjoyed this episode, and make sure you click on that bell so that you get every single episode that we put out here at Succeed for Life. In addition to that, I have videos posted at the end of this video that will go deeper into many of the topics and the tips that I shared with you in this video. So I look forward to seeing you in the future. Make it a good one.